Welcome to this 6-minute hip mobility session. All you're going to need is a space not bigger than what I've got here and a foam roller. Now this is going to be great if you have any back pain or if your hips are feeling a little bit tight or you just want to feel overall a bit looser. So we're going to start on our hands and knees and we're going to perform a movement called the cat and cow. So very slowly, thinking about your breathing, looking to get as much movement through that spine as possible. Now I really always like to start with these, and you might be thinking, well, this is a back movement here, it's not really anything to do with the hips. However, if you're performing this movement correctly, you'll be rolling your hips forwards and then tilting your hips back. So it's really good just taking it through that full range of motion. Really thinking about that breathing. Okay, I want you to come onto your back now, and we're going to perform a glute bridge. So you're going to lie down, bend your knees, hands into the floor, and I want you to lift your hips up to the sky, squeeze your glute muscles and your hamstrings, and slowly come back down. Now what you want to be mindful when performing this exercise is that you're not lifting your hips too high and therefore extending your lower back too much. So you want to really make sure it's all just coming through the hips. If you start to feel your back too much, maybe play around with not going quite as high. So again, thinking about our breathing here, guys. As you come up, squeeze the glutes, breathe out. We'll do one more here. Awesome, well done. Okay, now we're going to grab our foam roller. We're going to start off by foam rolling our glutes. So in order to do this, we're going to place the foam roller down and we're just going to sit on it with one butt cheek. So I've got my left glute on the roller here. I'm going to stabilize with my right leg, extend my left leg out. I'm going to very gently just move forwards and back. Forwards and back. Now the art of foam rolling is finding those points of tension and spending as much time as possible there. So I can feel towards the top of my glute, that's where I'm feeling the most amount of tension. So I'm just going to make slightly smaller movements up there and really work through there. And we're keeping it very simple for now, guys, because we're trying to get as much out of these 6 minutes as possible so that you can get back to whatever you're doing and we don't make this some sort of laborious task. Now if I want you to come down onto the elbow and we can start to roll into the side of the glute a little bit more on this side. And just very slowly find that point of tension again. Take some deep breaths here. We don't want this to be too strenuous. The important thing is to relax into it. Nice and slow. Okay guys, we're going to come onto the other side now. So now I would like you to place your right glute onto the roller, support yourself with your right hand, and your left leg is stable here. And again, nice long broad strokes to start off with, just so you can target the whole of the glute. And then when you start to feel a point of tension, spend a little bit more time there. And once again, for me, that's a little bit higher up on the glute, and I'm going to make smaller motions, really just trying to work away that tension through here. And again, trying to relax as much as you can. Nice deep breaths will make the world of difference. If you're in pain here, as long as it's not too intense, it's probably a good thing. Okay, you're now going to come down onto the elbow again. Step the leg over and come into the side of the hip here again. So still working through that glute, a little bit deeper. And again, guys, I'd stepped the leg over there. I decided I didn't like that, so I stepped the leg back to this side because I can get into the muscle a little bit deeper. And it's one thing I always iterate to my clients, is that you want to play around with it, particularly when it comes to foam rolling. There's no one right way to do things. Great. So we're going to come now and we're going to roll through the front of the hip. So just like this. And this is both the quads and the hip flexor up here. So we're going to start with the left leg onto our forearms, almost like you're going to do a plank. And I've got my right leg is slightly bent and my left leg is straight. I'm going to take nice long rolls, almost like I'm rolling myself away, and then I'm going to come back in. So again, nice broad strokes to start off with. And you may be thinking, well, this was for the hips. Why am I rolling my quadricep muscle? That's on my thigh. Well, first of all, at the top of the quadricep, part of the quadriceps is a muscle called the rectus femoris. This is one of the key hip flexors, so it actually attaches to your hip and can get very tight, particularly if you've been sat all day. So this is a really, really great way to alleviate that. And I think most people can get a lot of benefit, and this one can be quite sore. And again, in the interest of keeping this as short as possible, we're going to have nice, long, broad strokes. If you feel like this is a problem area, by all means, after this session, take your time to go and roll it a little bit deeper. Right, we're going to change sides now. Very simple, just roll the foam roller across, back onto our forearms. This time my left leg is bent and my right leg is out nice and straight. And it's nice and broad strokes here. Taking your time, not trying to rush it, and trying to get right into the top of that hip just before you get to the bone, get to the pelvis. Nice long strokes, opening it up. And again, there's so many different techniques you can do with these movements, so really do try and play around with it a little bit, as much as you can. Okay. So that will conclude the foam rolling portion. We're going to go back to another couple of exercises now. The first one is going to be a frog stretch. So you're going to spread the legs as far as feels comfortable. It could feel really tight on this inner thigh. So don't feel like you have to go all the way out. Find what feels comfortable and just sit here and breathe for a few moments and see if you can slide the knees out a little bit further. See if you can get them a little bit further. Then once you've taken a few deep breaths, we're going to start to just rotate around here. You might get a little click in your hip, and then you're going to swap sides. And again, look how slowly I'm moving, no jaggedy motions, and you should feel the inner thigh really opening up here if you're feeling a little bit tight. Very gentle with the movement. Opening up, nice deep breaths. Take your time with it. And we'll do one more each side, guys. Okay, into our final two movements now. The next one is well known as the world's greatest stretch for whatever reason. So you're going to come into a high plank position. You're going to step the foot up so it's nice and flush on the floor, and you're going to twist and rotate round. You're going to bring it back, change sides, and the sun has come to shine on us today in London, which has been unusual as of late. Take it nice and slow. And bringing it back. And this is just a really great overall hip opener. The stretch leg is getting a nice stretch through the front of the hip. The leg that comes forwards is getting a stretch through the glute. You're getting a little bit of spinal work as well. Whew. Okay. Final movement of the day. We're going to come onto our backs again and finish with those glute bridges. This time, I want you to do 3 reps with me. 1, down, 2. On the third one, down. You're going to come up, and we're going to hold here for 30 seconds. Nice deep breaths. Your hips should feel a lot more open now. They shouldn't feel as clogged up as they did when we first did these glute bridges. And again, I'm going to give you the same advice I gave you at the beginning. If you're feeling your back, don't go as high. Just lift the hips as far as feels comfortable. mobility training isn't necessarily about feeling super uncomfortable. We need to relax into these positions and rest there. And that is you done. So hopefully your hips feel a lot more mobile after that, and you're ready to seize the day. Let me know if you enjoyed this video, drop a like, and if you'd like to see anything more from me, then please leave it in the comments.